Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Hawk News. I'm Stephanie Molina, here to give you the latest on SUNY New Paltz news. In today's segment, we'll be discussing the construction happening on campus, from renovations to the Kuykendall Science Building, the numerous fenced-off areas, and other small projects, such as filling in needed holes and entire walkways being remodeled. Many students seem to have issues with the construction, saying it's quote-unquote unattractive or quote-unquote unnecessary. SUNY New Paltz has responded by posting various signs around these construction sites, stating, "Please pardon our appearance as we make improvements to our campus." But are these signs enough? Is the construction even necessary? Today we're going to be handing it off to our field reporter, Charlie Peterson, to tell us more about the event. Charlie?
If you take a look around the SUNY New Paltz campus, you'll notice multiple construction sites. But how are these construction sites really affecting our fellow Hawks? To find out, our team simply asked a few of our feathered friends. Here's what they had to say.
So I'm a commuter at SUNY New Paltz, and a lot of times when I'm around, I do see a lot of construction. Like, I've been here for about 5 years, so they're always doing something. It doesn't affect me too much in terms of there being like a lot of noise and distraction, but it does make me notice that they're doing a lot of improvements to the campus.
The parking lot by the athletic center, like over there by the art buildings, that walkway underneath the library, it's kind of throwing me off.
I would say it hasn't been a particular inconvenience for me. Except for the fact that we haven't, when the weather was warm, we couldn't sit on the quad. I guess that was sad.
Occasionally, yeah, I'd have to take like a longer way to class, or like if I need to like get back to my car or go somewhere else on campus, I need to like take a detour because that way I usually go is closed.
I would say construction has negatively affected me on campus for sure. There's always been construction outside of my dorm rooms, and it's really hard to study and focus like in my quiet room, which I feel like shouldn't be the case.
Usually I see it kind of near the parking lots, more towards usually the residence halls, not really as much the academic buildings, but kind of everywhere around that.
I usually cut under the library to get to like the academic buildings, and instead I have to go up in front of Starbucks and around down the stairs, and it just takes longer.
It's because there's been so many new buildings in the past few years, and so it makes me feel like they're going to expand the departments. It's generally a positive outlook.
I feel like the school doesn't really tell us what they're doing, and most of the time I can't really tell what the projects are for.
But I always think about how people visiting, like prospective students visiting, how they're going to see that, and it could affect what they think of the school.
Thanks, Charlie. To respond to some of the concerns regarding construction on campus, we are joined today by the Vice President of Administration and Finance at SUNY New Paltz, Michelle Halstead. Michelle, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Stephanie.
So, tell me, why are there so many construction projects happening on campus, and will they ever end?
SUNY New Paltz sits on 257 acres, and we have more than 55 buildings. More than half of those buildings are a half century old, so we're always going to have some construction on campus. Why we have so much at one time is due to basically the timing of our funding and our procurement of the contracts for the contractors to come on campus. Many of the current construction projects are due to be done this spring, but we're going to start a new round in the summer.
Understood. And is there any way to possibly speed up the construction process?
Speeding up the construction process is not advised. We want the contractors to have ample time to make sure that the buildings are secure and in the fashion that we want them when they're done.
As being part of administration, are you guys ever worried about students possibly tampering with equipment or their safety being jeopardized?
We're always worried about students doing things that are ill-advised, but we hope that they will heed the contractor's equipment as sacred ground, and the contractors are always supposed to lock up their equipment tight at night, so hopefully everything will be okay.
Great to hear. And how do you feel about the current visual state of our campus?
I actually think SUNY New Paltz is one of the most beautiful campuses in the SUNY system and in higher education altogether. In my 30 years here, it's never looked better.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Michelle. That's all the time we have. To all the viewers back home, thank you for tuning in. I hope this has been an informative session for you. And as always, tune in next time and go Hawks!